don't get overwhelmed, because that's one of the biggest things people do is like, yeah, it's just too much. Please understand it. It's kind of like the human language. The letter A is used in multiple words, not just letters that start with A or words that start with A. So understand crypto is the same thing. As you get going, you're going to master it pretty fast. And this course has got it as simple as it can possibly be.
Hello, viewers and listeners. Welcome to another episode of Test, Optimize, and Scale. Here to dive deep into the world of blockchain Web3 education. A lot of questions we get asked here at Test, Optimize, and Scale. We have Greg Tucker, Jim Longden here to talk with us about 2033. They're going to go in depth about the full educational platform and what they're doing to empower the audience towards these goals in 2033. Greg, Jim, thanks for taking the time to join the podcast.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Been looking forward to today's discussion. Wanted to start with your backgrounds, give the audience a bit of a feel for who they're talking with, who they're listening, watching, and thought we could begin there, leading into Project 2033.
Sure. Well, I'm 60. I don't know how old Jim is, but I've done a little bit of everything. I've been a publicly traded president and CEO at one point in my career. I've been involved in multiple industries, and we got involved with Project 2033 as a labor of love. We figured that if no one else was going to create an all-inclusive cryptocurrency course where people could learn to trade effectively, soup to nuts, that we'd build it ourselves. And I'll tell you how we came about as a team once Jim has a chance to introduce himself.
Sounds good. Thank you, Greg. So I'm Jim Longden. Most people know me as Serenity from my YouTube channel, Down Home Crypto with Serenity. I've worked in pretty much any industry like Greg. I'm 52 years old. Not quite there, but I'm getting close. And what I found is that the working class people are really kind of stuck on this whole live, work, die. They live check by check, and there had to be a better way. And so through my life, I've done different industries. I've been the CEO of my own vape company. But I decided to quit my job as a journeyman electrician and dedicate it to educating the working class people in the world and let them know there is a better way. They don't have to keep doing the same thing, because the simple fact is, we were told as we're growing up, if you work hard, you save your money, when you get old, you can retire and enjoy life. The fact is, they didn't tell you that the value of a dollar was going to continue to drop, and that everything you put in savings is almost worthless. So you've got to find a better way. And this new evolution of the digital market, that is where people can truly get ahead. So that's what I've dedicated my life to.
Well, it makes sense hearing about your backgrounds, Pubco, vape company, and being able to focus on trading efficiently on these cryptocurrency platforms, and not to go into that live, work, die model, but to be able to enjoy things in real time here. Why focus on Project 2033? What need did you see in the space, and how are you addressing it with the project?
Sure. It's funny how it all came together. I've got a company called Spartan Bitcoin Mining, and we do exactly that. We mine Bitcoin. And I recruited a couple of crypto YouTubers to help us get the word out about the company, just bring awareness to our company. And they turned out to be really intelligent, brilliant people. And they also, they were passionate about teaching others. We had some success as a result. And they said, we have a few others in the industry that we share ideas with. They might be interested in helping as well. And that kind of blossomed from there. It just kept rolling. And I think we ended up, Jim, with around 12 or 14 people that ended up involved in talking about Spartan Bitcoin. Now, the funny thing is that all of those folks turned out to be brilliant. They all turned out to be very passionate about teaching others. So one thing that's always bugged me is, crypto didn't really start until 2009, and it was in its infancy for probably a full 10 years. So we've really just gotten around to where people are actually taking the time to teach others about things crypto related. But absolutely no one out there had put together something that was all inclusive, soup to nuts, starting with the origins of Bitcoin and working your way through centralized platforms, decentralized platforms, technical analysis, layer 1 versus layer 2, liquidity pools, staking and yield farming, airdrops, everything you can think of that should be housed under one roof, all in one convenient location. So I started talking to these guys and I said, guys, there's nothing out there where people can go and pay one time to access an all-inclusive cryptocurrency course. There are plenty of courses out there, but they're specific to a specific niche. People will talk about how to trade on Coinbase, or they'll talk about MetaMask and Uniswap, or they'll talk about technical analysis, but no one has compiled a big enough team to pull off what we've been able to put together. It's been a 5-month project. We just launched this past week, so the timing is perfect for us to share with you and your followers about what we've put together. So Jim is one of our key instructors. There's 14 people on the team. We've all made a 10-year commitment to this project. I don't mean just verbally. We all signed an agreement that said, you know what? Where other projects have failed, they have kind of withered on the vine, or they fell by the wayside because people did not take the time to bring things up to date, to keep things revised and add new content. The market evolves so quickly, you have to always be adding new content, and no one took that commitment seriously. And plus there's burnout involved. So a lot of other projects kind of fell by the wayside as a result. So we got busy early on with a curriculum, and it started with around 70 videos. It morphed into 120. The latest curriculum has well over 174 videos. And we launched on day one with around 125 with 16 hours of content. That sounds like a lot, but the cool thing about it is you can learn at your own pace. You don't have to digest all of that at once. And each video builds on the next. We've taken the time to really think through, how do you teach a novice? How do you teach somebody that knows absolutely nothing about crypto? And where do they start? So we put a lot of thought into that curriculum, and we feel like we've launched something that is heads and shoulders above everything else that is out there available today.
I think it's fantastic.
And why don't we let Jim talk about his specific niche, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely.
Sure. So thank you, Greg. And yeah, like I said before, mine was all about the working class people. And what I found within the crypto space and Down Home Crypto, my YouTube channel, is that I didn't have the time or the energy to cover everything. I simply can't. So I dedicated my life to the DeFi world, because that's where people can invest with just a few dollars and make life-changing money. And so all of mine is very much focused towards the working class people that don't have thousands of dollars to invest. Or, I mean, these guys are living check by check. If they give up a pizza, that's a big deal for them. That's $20. Well, you know what? You can make money with that. And so that is where I shine the most, because my passion there is to help the working class that don't have a huge amount, but they want to make a difference. And the great thing about Project 2033 is that it covers everything. And it doesn't matter if you're a $5 a week investor or $100,000, there's something in there for everyone. And there's a master of that particular field that covers each of those zones. And that's what's great. For me, DeFi, yeah, a lot of people say, well, that's just gambling. Well, it is if you don't know what you're doing. Then it's like playing the roulette wheel. But with the education that we teach you and how to do it appropriately and accurately, you can reduce your threat and increase your profitability. And that's what we're all about, is trying to help people learn for themselves. Now, we're not going to tell you you should go buy this or go buy that. We're going to tell you what you should look for when you're going to make a purchase. Why should you do it? And having that knowledge of understanding behind it is what really matters.
Focusing on systems.
He's being a little modest there. He's done an outstanding job covering the DeFi space, and that includes trading on decentralized platforms with MetaMask, Uniswap, Solana, all the other different chains that you can benefit from. We teach Coinbase, we teach Robinhood, we teach decentralized trading platforms, and we have a wealth of other topics that I think we've got 38 modules so far, 33 of which have content built in. Other additional content is rolling in as we speak. But Jim's component is really the I call it the centerpiece of our entire course, because he's taken the time to teach it on a very remedial level. But as he gets into it, it's about 2 hours worth of content just in his section. As he gets into it, it really becomes something that even intermediate and expert traders can benefit from, because he covers everything soup to nuts, like I said, and just does a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So I think it's fantastic. I've been working in blockchain since 2017, and every day I feel like I'm explaining the 101 type information to people, including offline, friends, family, but as well as clients. I spoke to a group today that's looking at user acquisition, and feel like I'm constantly going over the fundamentals, and to be able to fill in those gaps, and with the right education and with the right systems, like you guys are mentioning. So Jim, as you're saying, hey, we're not going to just tell you which coins, which, DeFi to really pay attention to. We're going to give you the processes so you know what to search for and make your own choices, in real time, that have those decision-making things based on alpha, based on what you're seeing happening in the space, I think is huge.
I would tend to agree. And that's the problem is most people, they look at the news, they look at what somebody else says. The simple fact is, by the time that information comes to you, it's too late. You've got to know what you're looking at before it happens, be able to analyze the situation, say, hey, that has some huge potential.
Yes.
Get into it early with very little, and that's where your life-changing money can make. Because if you're waiting till the 5 o'clock news, the simple fact is it's too late. That's when you should be selling.
Now, I will say this. We teach the basics and the entire infrastructure in our course, right? But we're also going to have a community aspect of what we do as well. That community aspect will have a calendar filled with different live presentations, different discussions with CEOs of different token projects. We'll also do our own due diligence and share projects that we're interested in. Of course, everything will come with a disclaimer. We're not financial advisors. We don't offer financial advice. But with that being said, the community will be a collection of people that are all on the same journey, looking for those little nuggets out there, those individual token projects or coin projects that you can invest in. But it's not just about investing in tokens or coins. It's also about other ways you can make money in the crypto space that most people are unaware of. And we go into a lot of detail on that as well. So providing liquidity, for example, or nodes or airdrops. So all of that is in our course, and it's something we're really proud of. And Jim and I are just 2 of 14 people that have taken the time to really put something together pretty special that we can all be proud of. And it's also incentivized. One of the things that we made the decision early on to do was to ensure that when we put this together, that everybody had an incentive to grow the course participation and grow the participation rate in the community, in the crypto space, but also financially incentivized. So, excuse me, every dollar we bring in for the course and or the community goes directly to our instructors. It also goes to our marketing and social media support. It goes to our administrators, our anybody that's on the team that has a key role to play. So I'll add this while we're on that subject. Even our members are incentivized. Think about that for a second. Jason, when you came along and took a look at what we're doing, as soon as you put your name and email into the original opt-in page for project2033.org, what you got back was an email that contained an affiliate link and a link to your affiliate dashboard. So right out of the gate, we give you the opportunity to help us share it with others, and we pay you 1/3 of the proceeds. The thinking behind that is, hey, share this with everybody's looking for answers on crypto, right? Everybody's curious about it. They don't know where to go. Share it on social media, share it with friends and family, share it 3 times. And if you have 3 people that actually sign up under your affiliate link, then you get the whole thing for free, because the entire process, you pay one time $297 to join Project 2033, and that price is subject to change as the platform continues to grow. It'll probably stay stable for at least a year or two, but it is a one-time fee. Once we start the community aspect, it'll be $29 a month. Anybody that joins us over the next month or two, we're not real sure when it's going to roll. We've made a 10-year commitment, so we're not in any big hurry on the community, but we at the same time have a sense of urgency to get it up and running. We just want to do it the right way. Once that's in place, it'll cost $29. Anybody that joins prior to that, they won't pay that $29 a month. They'll be grandfathered in. So for one price, one $297 fee, they'll have access to this for the next 10 years. And while I'm on that subject, 10 years gives us access to 1, 2, 3 bull runs, 3 bull markets. We're in one now. And if things keep cycling the way they have in the past in the crypto space, then we should catch 3 of those. We'll also catch the downside, unfortunately, but we'll catch 3 bull markets as we roll this over the next 10 years.
Talk about that bull run right now for a second. I'm curious, what type of topics do you find to be the most popular among the user base, among the community? The 2024 halving has just completed. What different types of conversations are you seeing on the community boards, and which videos are getting the most engagement at the moment?
Well, by default, every person's looking for that next big thing to invest in, right?
Yes.
But I'll reiterate what Jim said earlier. Any Joe Blow could go find somewhere online to learn how to trade on MetaMask and Uniswap and throw some money at it and start investing in who knows what. But they're probably going to lose 80, 90% of their money, if not more, as a result, because they don't have a good, solid foundation. And what Project 2033 does is, there's at least 9 modules in the course before we even get to the point of trading. Before we even get to Coinbase, there's 9 modules that will teach you things that are important for you to know before you even get to that point. So, but to answer your question, it runs the gamut. It depends on the individual. A lot of people have heard a lot about airdrops recently. Others are, more interested in the DeFi space that Jim covers really well. Most are going to be interested in anything that is going to put money in their pocket, basically. So I know that's a very general answer, but we've got it covered for everybody. There's also, by the way, a glossary of terms. This thing is morphed into such a big project where you might be on video 87 and go, I got to remember this. And you get to video 102 and you've already forgotten where you left off on a specific module. Well, the glossary of terms not only has definitions for all the crypto terms, but it also has links back to the videos in the course, so that if you do get lost, or if you forget where you left off, you can go find that term or that subject matter, and it'll link you right back to where you came from. There's also a self-driven way to monitor your space, your place in the course itself, so you can kind of keep up with where you are as you go along, moving at your own pace.
Again, I think it will lead to more mainstream adoption. I think of the investors that are asking their wealth managers about cryptocurrency and maybe just being told about, Bitcoin ETFs, when really, we're talking about altcoins, we're talking about DeFi, we're talking about so many other opportunities that have greater growth potential. But you do have to understand it enough to be able to put pieces of your portfolio behind it. Jim, you were talking about some of the systems around DeFi and how to be more systematic versus just gambling. I don't want to take too much away from the course or anything like that, but could we give the audience a glimpse of, what some of those formulas or algorithms or any tips would look like?
Sure. And yeah, like you said a second ago, ETFs are a big thing. I mean, everybody, now that ETFs are approved, people are saying that, okay, well, maybe crypto's not such a scam. So then they start looking a little bit deeper. They start understanding about altcoins, Litecoins, XRP. They're starting to understand how the money system works. And once you start to understand how decentralized finance works, that there is not a central bank you have to go in, get permission to wire money to another country, or even to pay your own bills. I mean, as we know right now, you deposit your check on a Friday, you may not be able to touch that money until the following Monday or even longer, depending if the bank wants to let you have it. I mean, that's really what decentralized finance is all about. And so once we start to understand that, we start to understand that decentralized finance coupled with the new AI technology, well, now you can have a chat GPT that is run by the people instead of by corporations like Google. And people like myself can run a graphics card I already have that I play games on. Why not make some money with it? And so that's one video I'm working on currently. There are so many opportunities out there where anybody with just a little bit of knowledge and understanding can start to earn passive income. They can start actively investing in just a few dollars, and they can turn that $5 into $50, turn that $50 into $500. And all these different systems, there are countless ways out there. Of course, that means there's also countless scammers. So you've got to have the understanding to know if it's legitimate or not. And putting this together, it gets very interesting. And that's why I love DeFi, because it's like the Wild West. I mean, it really is like the old gold rush back then. The people who sold the shovels and the picks, they made the money in the gold rush. Okay? Not the guys out there mining the gold. That is what Project 2033 does. It turns you into the salesman for the picks, the shovels, the wheelbarrows. You know exactly what to do. You know when to get in and you know when to get out. Now, one thing that I think is really super exciting about Project 23 is the community. Now, that's one thing, like Greg said, we haven't totally built it out yet. But for anybody who has just started dabbled into cryptocurrency, of course, the first thing you want to do is talk to your friend about it, your wife, your mother, whoever. And they always give you that cross-eyed look like, wait, what? Is that fake money thing? And we hear it time and time again. The community is going to give you access to not only people like myself who can help you along the way for whatever you run into, but like-minded individuals where you guys can communicate and share your knowledge. Like, hey, I just found this. What do you think about it? And you may not be talking to one of the instructors. You might be talking to a fellow investor. All of a sudden, now that word is passing through. Now you're building a community behind it, that project that adds more bolstering the community in which you want to support, all done within the Project 2033 community. So it's a great place not only to learn and grow, but also to make partners, to make friends. And through this process, I've made some amazing creators, partnered up with Greg, Crypto Sensei, Yabonks. I mean, all these people that, when I first got into crypto, these were the people I turned to. Now I'm working side by side with them. So I feel pretty blessed about this. But I definitely want to give a huge shout out to the community that's going to be coming out, because that is where the true alpha knowledge goes. Because even with 14 of us creators, we can't always know everything. You're going to hear the whisper on the street before we are, and you're going to bring in that community. And that's where we as a whole are going to learn together. As content creators are going to grab it, we're going to run with it, we're going to educate, and we can absolutely be the first movers in the next financial digital market. It's going to be crazy.
And Jason, I just added another instructor today. And it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't have 4 or 5 additional instructors along the way. And the more the merrier as far as we're concerned. Like I said, we're all incentivized. The bigger we grow this project, the more our instructors are going to benefit, as well as our members. So this gentleman is going to come on board. One of the things he's going to talk about is the fact that, there are places where you can not just sit and hold tokens and hope for the best, hope that they increase in value, but you can put those tokens to work for you, right? And these different projects are paying you ridiculous annual percentage rates. And he's going to start with a series of around 12 videos talking about how to take around 30 grand and spit out around $150 a day. That's a pretty significant return. And he's going to put together additional content in that same genre, that same realm, talking about all of the different opportunities out there. And if you get fairly proficient at what he's going to teach, then what you're going to realize is there's opportunity everywhere. It's not just buying and selling tokens. And there's plenty of opportunity to go on. For example, Solana is really hot right now. Solana, you can go over and sit and watch DEX tools and watch a new token launch and hear about it and read about it on Telegram or Twitter. And then all of a sudden you'll see boom, 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 every split second a transaction is happening. They're usually small traders trading at $20 to $100 to $200, that kind of thing. But it's just boom, 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 back and forth. And there's a lot of opportunity in Solana right now, but there might be, not might, there'll be other platforms that will come along that will be even more popular, and more people will migrate in that direction. So it's a constantly moving target. But the beauty of being part of Project 2033 is you pick up on how to follow the trends. And once the community is up and running, it's going to be even magnified, because you'll have all these people in there kind of going, hey, we're all going in this direction. Follow us. But, you know, the funny thing is that we all three of us know some really intelligent people. And we've all three of us probably experienced that situation where you try to explain Bitcoin, right? And as you're explaining it, you just see their eyes glaze over. And these are brilliant people, some of them multimillionaires, but they have no idea what you're talking about. We've taken the time, you know, when I first started putting this together, I said, guys, here's our target audience. Remember that email I sent you guys originally? Our target audience is that 50-year-old man who doesn't know squat about crypto. He wants to learn as much as he can, but he's not the kind of guy that's going to go hunt and peck all over the internet. He's not going to go and try to learn everything he can on his own. He wants it all in one convenient location. So there are plenty of people out there that have money in their pockets. They've got 401ks, they've got money, but they're from a generation, you know, I watch my kids, they just instinctively react to, you know, these devices, and they just know how to maneuver around all of the platforms that are out there. Most people 40 to 80 do not, or they're not as proficient. So they want everything in one convenient location. That's what we provided for everyone. And we also said, teach it on a 5th to 9th grade level, where people are going to be able to not only start from scratch, but build their confidence as they move from each module to the next. We've also included some narration. I guess that's the best word to use. Throughout the course, you kind of want to piece everything together. You got 33 to 38 disparate modules that are out there right now. In order to tie them all together, and in order even to tie the videos within a module together, you need someone to kind of narrate. So I've taken that role where, you know, we might finish up a video and there might have been something left out, or something just wasn't worded a certain way. And we just put these little segue videos in and these narration videos in to kind of fill those gaps where necessary. But they also, I know at least 2 where it says very specifically, I can feel you wanting to skip ahead and move to Coinbase, but or move to Robinhood or move to DeFi, but stay the course. Keep moving through as it's been put together, because we put a lot of thought into this curriculum. And if you take the time, if you're on a 10-year horizon like we are, then why not take the extra time to learn all the information that we put together for you before you actually get into the trading aspect of crypto.
All about that understanding and putting that strategy together for yourself. And Greg, I can't tell you how impressed I am by the amount of influencers you've brought to the program, the educational video, the way I see all the sharing happening, and the community, you know, as Jim said, is just being built right now further and further to interact. What have you learned from this process that you could share with people listening in? I look at entrepreneurship, growth, marketing as a path of test, optimize, scale. What recommendations could we give listeners, viewers to test out? This could be towards their own projects. This could be towards their own wallets and their own, you know, investment strategies. What tests would you recommend for people tuning in right now to act on right after this episode?
Sure. Well, obviously, we'd hope they would join Project 2033, because that's
Absolutely.
probably going to give them the best comprehensive view of all things crypto that they've probably ever experienced. And I'll say this, I've been responsible for taking all this video content that's rolling in, watching it cover to cover, watching it multiple times actually for different reasons, plugging it into the school platform where we're building out the course. And I've learned more probably in the last 5 months than I learned in the previous 5 or 6 years. And the reason behind that is these folks have really taken the time to just really dig in, and, you know, on each topic, they've storyboarded it. They've put together the script. They've really captured everything that needs to be covered in a way where people are going to grasp it. We go back to that individual that you're trying to teach Bitcoin. The explanation we have on Bitcoin is 5 minutes long, or at least the first video on Bitcoin. And I think it does a fantastic job for the first time explaining exactly what Bitcoin is. And if you watch that video and you don't understand what Bitcoin is, then I feel sorry for you, because we've really, if we can do that with Bitcoin, and we can do that with all other aspects of crypto, then I think we've hit a home run. And I think we have, the cool thing about this team that we put together is they kind of knew each other loosely over the last couple of years, but this has kind of brought them together under one umbrella for a specific cause. And it's just kind of, I've watched people blossom. You know, I've watched each of these individuals really take ownership in this project. And I can't wait to see what it looks like a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. And, you know, I can see Jim's wheels turning about the community aspect of it. Just imagine a couple years out where we might have sold 10 or 20,000 copies of the course. That's fine. But the cool thing will be the community, where people have the opportunity to interact with each other. They've got a calendar of events where they can go and listen in on different projects, listen in to our instructors talking about other aspects of crypto, find some due diligence on tokens that have been covered by Summer or Jim or James or Justin or any of our other instructors. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of people, Robert. They're all listed, by the way, in our sales information. And let me talk about that real quick. If you go to project2033.org, and I don't want you to do that, by the way, if you are listening to this, I'd rather you use Jason's affiliate link. And, you know, a lot of people shy away from affiliate links, and, you know, they think it's spammy or whatever. I don't. I think if you're going to take the time to share Project 2033 with others, I want to see you benefit, but also I want to see the people that follow you benefit. So I would strongly recommend, if they join Project 2033, to put their affiliate link out there, because they're going to have friends and family that are interested in this information. And, you know, there are a lot of spammy affiliate programs and selling who knows what, lotions and powders and whatnot. But this is something that really has some staying power, something that is back. The whole world's moving in this direction. So whether you learn it from us or whether you learn it from somebody else, it's important that you get that education. So anyway, when you go to Project 2033, you put in your name and your email address, you'll get an email with your affiliate link and your affiliate dashboard, so you can monitor any sales. But that's instantly going to lead you over to an info page. That info page is me and Summer and Jim, and all the questions that you could possibly ask about our program answered in video and text format. If you make a decision you want to join, you click the next button, it takes you over to an order page. You can order with crypto, Venmo, credit card, PayPal. I think I've covered about every different way that you could possibly place your order. And then from there, there's a thank you page that goes into some detail about what to do next. And then from there, you're invited over to the Project 2033 platform, and you're a permanent member from that point on. And, you know, a 10-year commitment is what we've made. It might be 10 or 15 years for all we know. I can't imagine us getting 10 years down the road and saying, okay, that's it. So I'm sure it'll keep going for a while. but definitely a 10-year minimum commitment among the team. And like I said, we'll continue to add additional players to make sure that it does have the staying power we would hope it would have.
And strongly encourage listeners, viewers, the audience to take Jim up on that offer. Head over to Project 2033. We'll have our link in there. I want to ask, a few more questions just to wrap the test optimized scale portion. Jim, if you want to hop in at all, what are some recommendations for traders to optimize and course correct, and then to know when to scale? Some tips towards optimization and scale. So maybe they're coming in at that $20 a day level, $100 a day, whatever it may be. What are some different ways they can pivot if they're not seeing the type of response, the type of yield, the type of returns they're anticipating? And then how do they know when to scale and to put more into these vehicles that are primed for growth?
That's a great question. And, that's where even my channel, I teach a strategic investing concept, and we talk about it in Project 2033 all the time, but it's called dollar cost averaging. Now, what is dollar cost average? So essentially, let's say you have $1,000 to invest, okay? You're not going to put it all in to one crypto at one point in time. You're going to split that into, say, 10 different amounts, $100 payments. And this week, you might put $100 in. Next week, $100 in. During that time, that price is going to go up. It's going to pull back. It's going to go up and down and up and down. That's going to give you an average price. So if it dips, you're going to capture some of that. If it spikes, you're not going to pay everything at the very top and lose a bunch. So the concept itself is to go into it with the dollar cost average method. Now, once you're into it, keep an eye on it. Watch how it's going. And as the price continues to climb, through the course of learning how to do technical analysis, things along those lines, you can see that, hey, it's starting to get close to the top. Maybe I should start selling. Well, same thing. You don't want to sell all at once. You want a dollar cost average out of your position. Same concept. So as it's going up, you're going to sell off, 10%. Goes up a little more. The next week, you're going to sell 10 more percent. You're going to keep doing that. Or if it's dropping, same thing. If it's going down and you're not seeing the returns and you're losing, don't sell at all. Sell 10%, 20%. Because it could hit a bottom and then spike and bounce, and then you're going to be sitting there with regret. So the biggest thing is learning how to harness this knowledge. And from there, going to your investments with a strategic mindset and analyze it appropriately. Don't just like, oh my God, it's dropping, I should sell everything, because what's going to happen? It's going to hit this bottom, it's going to skyrocket, and you'll be going, oh man, I just lost it all. I should have stayed. And this is the mindset we need to teach. It's not an emotional concept. We have to have the knowledge and the understanding. From there, we can use strategic investing principles. And from there, it's almost impossible to lose unless you get rugged or scammed. You're going to see it coming before it happens. Now, there's bad players. You always have to be cautious of that. But the great thing is, once you have that knowledge, you can start to see them much more clearly, and you know who to avoid and who not to.
And I'll just add a couple of things to that. Keith is our instructor who covers technical analysis. We have a series on that as well. And I'm probably not even doing it justice. I don't have a list in front of me. But again, if you want to learn about crypto, we have covered just about everything we can think of. And if we haven't, we will. Okay. If it's not in there now, it will be covered at some point in time. And it won't just be a rush job. It'll be someone with the knowledge on our team taking the time to put it together, or adding additional instructors that have that expertise to bring that to the masses. So second thing I'll add is we didn't have a section, a module on scams, but we do now. There's nothing there yet, but I've got 4 different scams that we want to talk about. They're getting more sophisticated every single year. It's amazing what the links they'll go to remove you from your money. I was doing a similar conversation last night with James Pelton, another one of our instructors, and he said he wanted to participate in that section as well. So I would guess that all of our instructors have their own horror story to tell when it comes to scams. So we'll probably have a lot of information in there that people can go through. And the cool thing about that, though, is, if you go to Project 2033, not only is it going to just really take your learning curve from a couple of years down to maybe 90 to 180 days, but it's going to allow you not to make the same dumbass mistakes that some of us made along the way. So, and keep you from making those mistakes as much as we possibly can.
Exactly.
I've certainly learned from mistakes over the years, and luckily don't have it bad as others that I know have been in the space even longer. Seems like everyone who got involved, 2012, 2014 has had lost wallets and, just did not secure themselves correctly all the way through. Not enough time to share all my learnings here, but, I have much stronger structures today. And I really want to encourage listeners to head over to Project 2033. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm constantly going over the fundamentals and the depth that you guys are able to go over, and hearing about the systems and firsthand from all the influencers that are involved. I think it's a very unique offering. If I have to hear about, why decentralization, and that being the one theme of a 45-minute keynote, another time, it feels like something I heard at a conference in 2017. So to have an understanding of what you guys are talking about for current, staking and airdrops, the difference from L1 to L2, layer 1, layer 2, I don't think there's much out there, and at least not this accessible and from these high caliber creators. So I don't promote too much on the podcast. I'll tell people to get in contact with guests for more information, but feel comfortable doing so because of the quality of what you guys are putting out. So want to definitely get everyone over there, check out some of the content, be part of the community, and join Project 2033.
Thanks, sir. And one thing, Jason, that a lot of people don't realize is you've been in crypto. Say you bought Bitcoin. They don't realize the connections. You see, everything in the digital aspect is interconnected. Think of it like a big ball of yarn. Everything touches everything else. So if you're in crypto and Bitcoin, that's still DeFi in a way. It has an effect. So part of that knowledge passes across everything. So if you think you have to master the whole thing, believe it or not, once you learn one little piece, it actually has little branches that covers all the rest of it. So once you start going, it just grows exponentially. So don't get overwhelmed, because that's one of the biggest things people do is like, it's just too much. Please understand it. It's kind of like the human language. The letter A is used in multiple words, not just letters that start with A or words that start with A. So understand crypto is the same thing. As you get going, you're going to master it pretty fast. And this course has got it as simple as it can possibly be.
Awesome. And it can feel overwhelming. It's good that you guys are able to break the curriculum down so you could focus on individual areas, but it's also in sequence, so you're able to understand the history before getting into more of the blue chips, before understanding more of the minutia, more of the granular, more of the things that you want to swing trade and watch very closely. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming in. Greg, so glad we had a chance to set this up. Jim, really enjoying all the discussion points here. What would you like to leave the audience with today? Any final thoughts? And we're going to be publishing the link, Project 2033. Going to have the URLs here below for you. But what should we wrap with?
I would say that, you guys don't know me from Adam, but what I can tell you is at my age, at age 60, Jim's the second oldest instructor. I'd say the average age of our instructor is probably, what do you say, Jim, around 35 or 40?
32, 35, yeah.
Okay, so somewhere in that range. The good news is these are some really, really smart individuals. And not only are they brilliant, but they also are passionate about teaching others. I'm not just saying that. I was just blown away by the fact that it's not really about the money for them. It's really about the education. They're really passionate about it. They enjoy what they're doing, and it shows in their content. Every time a new video comes in, I'm just dumbfounded by the quality, by the content, by the amount of detail that people have gone into. And when you put all that together into a curriculum that has narration, where we are kind of holding your hand through the whole process and kind of guiding you through, and where each video builds on the next, I feel certain that just about anybody that joins is probably going to have a confidence level about what they're doing in this space that will take them places they didn't think they could go with in the crypto space. But yeah, I think it's been a pleasure. It's been a blast so far. We're only, like I said, a week into this, and some of the members that I've talked to so far, some are watching a couple of videos a night. Others have gone down a 3 or 4 hour rabbit hole, like they're binging a Netflix series, and that's cool too. The good news is the videos aren't going anywhere. You can watch Jim's series from start to finish, come back a month later, watch it again, and you probably learn some things along the way that you forgot the first time you watched it. But all that content will be there. It will be constantly revised, upgraded, and as new features, new components of the crypto space come online, we'll have new content added in real time as necessary, so that, again, this does become the best cryptocurrency course on the planet. And that's our goal, and that's what we'll always be striving for.
You heard it here, and if you haven't heard me mention it yet, get over to Project 2033. Greg, Jim, want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on here and share about the project with our audience. Appreciate it, and look forward to being more involved myself. Audience, want to thank you again for tuning in as well.
All right.
And we'll see everybody next time.
All right. Thank you so much, Jason. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you on the inside.